Just taking a little run out into, or snipping through the Suffolk countryside, just for a little run out, and just caught sight of this cracking little old pub that used to be the life of a little village in the middle of Suffolk, called Butley. As you can see, the Oyster Inn. Now, I cannot believe that I hadn't heard that this place had closed down. Always a popular little place, always used to serve good quality food. You wanted a nice bit of food, nice pint, whether it be your family, two mates out on the bikes, you know, or just bringing your wife out. It was a lovely little place to come, you know. And just look at the state of it. Well, anyway, I've just been reading that it actually got closed down. It became insufficient as far as financially being able to run back in about 2012. Now, from what I can see, a little bit has been happening inside, and I'll tell you the story on this in a minute. Look at that. If you can see that, I just absolutely gutted. It wasn't a particularly big pub, but these little old pubs always had a nice little atmosphere, whether it be winter or summer. Summertime, obviously most people would be sitting around the tables out in the back. We'll just show you around the back there. Yeah, today, many apologies to old mate Captain Rambunctious and Keith Wyburn Biker. Myself and Suffolk Andy and a few others were meant to be coming down to the Ace, but unfortunately we never made it. Look at the state of that. Unbelievable. Used to be so well kept and looked after. And further down there they used to have, obviously in the pub yard, all the little pub tables and the beer garden. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. You know, never a really busy pub, but always had a good atmosphere. And like I say, from what I've just been reading, the place closed down in about 2012, and I think the local residents are obviously not been too happy about it ever since the closure, because this is sort of like the hub, the meeting point of the village for a lot of local villages. This is the only pub for a good few miles, and from what I've just been reading anyway, the plans were put forward in 2014 to turn it into a holiday apartment. Well, the downstairs part of it to turn it into one single holiday apartment. As for the plans for the upstairs, I haven't got a clue, but the application went through in 2014, and obviously nothing's come of it. So I was reading that the locals were quite upset about it, because as far as they're concerned, obviously from anyone's point of view, a lovely little old place like this has been around, well, God knows, 100 odd years. You know, all the heritage and the history that goes with it would be sadly lost. And obviously from their perspective, you'd like to think that somehow somebody would come along, potentially, and bring some love back into the place and return it back to its former glory as a local pub. But that doesn't seem to have been the case, does it? Can't believe it. You know, when we look around at the amount of pubs that we've lost, especially around, well, in the country as a whole, but you look around in Ipswich and Suffolk, we've lost so many fantastic pubs, and you know, people might have a different perspective on it, but from my perspective, a lot of it all started when they brought in the smoking ban. You know, make of what you like with that one, but that was pretty much the start of things to come. As far as a lot of us could see, whether you be a smoker or a non-smoker, even non-smokers I've spoken to have agreed on this. But the other big thing is, as well, as the fact that you know, with the price of booze and alcohol, you know, the price of a pint now in a pub can range for anything between £3 to £4 a pint. Now, from that perspective, you can go down to any supermarket and say, for instance, I drink I would buy a pint of Newcastle Brown in an establishment like this one, and it would cost me probably around £3 or £3.50. Now, you can go down to your local supermarket and you can pick up 4 bottles of that, 4 pint bottles of Newcastle Brown, for around £5. Probably less than that, to be honest with you. In fact, most beers, most good beers, and I enjoy my fine ales, range from between about £1.25 and £1.50, which, in all honesty, you know, okay, you're going to be drinking at home, you know, but the point being is you can still socialise, you can still get mates around, you still get family and friends around for barbecues and bits and pieces like that, so you can still enjoy it without having to actually fork out the amount of money that you do nowadays in the establishments that are left. The amount of money that you do. I mean, Christ, once upon a time back in the 80s and 90s, you'd get pissed on a tenner. But obviously now that's not the case, is it? What a shame, eh? Well, going back to the pubs in Ipswich, I mean, I used to be a drummer in rock bands and bands and so on and so forth. And you know, many of the establishments that we used to play, we started to see a slight change in the direction. You know, with some of the pubs, unfortunately, they weren't making the money that they really needed to at some point. So a lot of them moved into the food sector, which obviously, once you've done that, you've lost all that space that you might have retained for, you know, stage area for bands, you know, whatever type of band, but you've lost that particular area because it's now become a restaurant, club, diner. So yeah, that was a shame. We started to see a bit of a move in that direction back in the mid-90s. But yeah, what a shame. And it seems to me now that at the pubs, I would say back in Ipswich now, we probably have left, I would say, not even 10% of the pubs, whether it be in the main town or whether it be on the outskirts, in the, you know, further out afield. Most of these quality establishments have closed down. One just up the road of me, the old Thomas Eldred, are local for years and years, plus the other one, the Safe Harbour. They've all gone. They've been knocked down and made into homes. The area made into homes or new establishments, whether it be supermarkets or something along those lines. But yeah, what a shame, eh? Right, it's just been reading up on the closure and the plans for this cracking little pub. It says here, the owner of the Suffolk pub said its future is in better shape than ever after an application for holiday lets was approved, in spite of fears it would spell the historic inn's demise. Right, let's have a look here. Suffolk Coastal District Council's North Area Planning Committee reluctantly agreed 4 new holiday lets, not 1 but 4, to be built at the Oyster Inn, Butley, in the face of grave concerns about the pub's future viability. The plans will see its first floor accommodation converted into a holiday flat, with alterations made to downstairs bar to create a separate entrance for guests. Outbuildings at the rear of the pub will also be rebuilt as 3 further holiday lets. The pub's owner, John Dalton of the Bloomsbury Leisure Group, said the business requires multiple income streams to thrive and welcomed the application's approval as super news. The future of the Oyster is now in far better shape than it has ever been before. Well, you're talking about the building, you're not talking about the establishment, the pub, you know. Residents and councillors at Wednesday's meeting, bearing in mind this is going back to 2014, feared that by removing the landlord accommodation, cutting car parking spaces and reducing the public bar by 10 square metres, the pub, which has been closed for 18 months already, would soon be permanently lost. That's a guarantee, isn't it? Neighbouring resident said that she had huge objections to the proposals and would make the pub unsustainable. In 3 years' time, this committee will be looking at an application for the pub's change of use, and it will be disastrous for the village. So I beg you to take the long-term view. We're desperate for a pub. It's the heart of the village. Butley's Parish Chairman David McGinty also appealed for an opportunity to support a pub we had promised after months in which it had been left unloved. Committee member Michael Glover Gower said that changes would be the pub's death knell and raised wider concerns about the impact on the country's visitor appeal. We keep on talking about the importance of tourism, but I fear we are chipping away at what is that makes Suffolk important to us, he said. Despite concerns, the committee could find no grounds to refuse. It is with very sad heart that I cannot find any good reason for objecting to the application, said Councillor Tony Fryer. So there you go, folks. Yep. Another establishment gone to the wind. And once this goes through, like many other establishments in Suffolk, I'm afraid that'll be it. This place is no longer a pub and never will be again. What a shame. Now right on there used to be a cracking little pub called the Whitted Crown. As you can see, no longer there. This one here, which is now an oldies, where the old band used to rehearse many years ago, used to be the Safe Harbour. As you can see, no longer there. This little group of new houses for many years with my local. I live just up the road there. Local pub called the Thomas Elder. Yet another local establishment, unfortunately, to its demise. Right, beers of me old China. Cheers for the tag, mate. On
Bimble's tagged me for the Bring Me Sunshine, buddy. As you can probably see, mate, I'm still out at the Oyster Inn. I'm just doing a little vlog on that and the closure of pubs. Can't believe this place is shut down, really. But getting back to the tag, mate, I'm looking for some sunshine. I'm looking for, as you can see, we're out in the countryside. Still, I'm looking for some sunshine, mate. Lucky. This is ice day, by the way, and the forecast was absolutely shit. Unfortunately, myself and Suffolk Andy couldn't make it down, amongst a few others, but obviously I've spoken to Captain Rambunctious and Keith, and we were looking forward to some meeting down there today. Unfortunately, we couldn't get down there, so anyway, I hope you lads have had a good crack. I've spoken to you both. And my mate Chris, Yankee boy, is just giving me a call. And I believe, from what I gather, it's getting pretty wet down in London. And there's not that many there. Who knows? Anyway, chaps, I want to get back on the bike and go see if I can find that round thing in the sky. See if we get some quality footage, eh? Fuck it.